Reproduction is a vital process for the continuation of species, and different animals have unique ways of reproducing. While some animals mate for life, others have multiple mates or mating seasons. Among these animals, pandas have a particularly unique mating behavior. Female pandas, for instance, have a very short mating season that lasts for only 24 to 72 hours each year, during which the male must be present and ready to mate. In this video, we will be delving into the unique mating behaviors of various animals. Without further ado, let's get started. Albatross mating. The albatross mating ritual involves a beautiful dance performed by both the male and female. The dance is an important part of the courtship process as it helps to establish a bond between the pair and allows them to assess each other's fitness and capability. Once a pair has formed, they will mate for life, returning to the same breeding site each year. Albatrosses are known for their long lifespans, with some individuals living up to 60 years or more. This means they have plenty of time to perfect their dance moves and find the perfect mate. During the breeding season, both males and females will incubate the egg and take turns to forage for food. The bond between a pair of albatrosses is strong, and they will often greet each other with the same dance that they performed during their courtship, reaffirming their commitment to each other. Antechinus mating. Sex can be a life-giving force, but for the male antechinus, it's a deadly one. These small creatures engage in intense mating sessions that last for up to 14 hours straight. And while this may sound like a dream come true for some males of the human species, for the antechinus, it's a fatal endeavor. These tiny creatures spend the majority of their adult lives in search of sexual partners. During mating season, they mate with as many females as they can find, often engaging in sexual activity for hours at a time, without any breaks for rest or food. The male antechinus may be willing to sacrifice his own life for the chance to pass on his genes, but for humans, the consequences of such extreme sexual behavior can be devastating. It's a reminder that while nature can be beautiful and awe-inspiring, it can also be brutal and unforgiving. Fireflies mating. Fireflies have a complex mating ritual that begins with the emergence of female fireflies in their adult form. These females only have a few weeks to live, and their main goal is to find a suitable mate. As the sun sets, thousands of male fireflies light up the dusk, hoping to impress the female audience with their flashing lights. However, females are not easily impressed and are looking for something special. They prefer males that can sustain a long flash, as this indicates they have a larger nuptial gift, which is food for their developing eggs. When a female spots a male with potential, she opens the conversation by emitting a flash of her own. The male will only approach if the female responds with a specific light pattern, and if she does, they will mate. After mating and laying their eggs, all the adults die, so this spectacular light show only lasts for a few short weeks each summer. Seahorses mating. Seahorses have one of the most unique reproductive systems in the animal kingdom. The male seahorse is the one who carries and gives birth to the offspring. Yes, you heard that right. The female deposits the eggs into a pouch on the male's abdomen, where they are fertilized and develop into baby seahorses. The male carries the developing embryos for several weeks before going into labor and giving birth to hundreds, sometimes even thousands of tiny seahorses. During the actual mating process, the seahorses intertwine their tails and perform a sort of dance to transfer the eggs from the female to the male's pouch. It's a delicate process that requires precision and coordination, as the eggs must be carefully positioned within the pouch to ensure proper fertilization and development. All in all, the seahorse's reproductive system and mating behaviors are truly unique and fascinating. Panda mating. Giant pandas have a unique mating system that involves females being in estrus for only 24 to 72 hours per year. During this time, males will compete for the opportunity to mate with females. Mating can be a tricky process, as pandas are solitary animals that do not often come into contact with each other in the wild. Therefore, breeding programs in captivity have been crucial for the survival of the species. Once a male panda is able to successfully mate with a female, The pregnancy lasts for around 3 to 5 months. Pandas give birth to 1 or 2 cubs, but it is rare for both to survive. Female pandas are known for their excellent mothering skills, but in the wild, mothers will often only raise 1 cub at a time. Despite their popularity and iconic status, giant pandas are considered a vulnerable species due to habitat loss and low reproductive rates. Capybara mating. Often found relaxing on the beach alongside caimans or even hitching a ride on the back of an alligator, it seems like capybaras are friends with just about every animal they encounter. When it comes to mating, capybaras have a unique system in which females establish dominance over males. During the breeding season, females will fight amongst themselves to determine which one will mate with the dominant male. The dominant female will then mate with the dominant male, and other females may also mate with him if they get the chance. Interestingly, capybaras also engage in communal nursing, which means that mothers will allow other females to nurse their young alongside their own offspring. This behavior helps to ensure the survival of their young and reinforces the social bonds between the animals in the group. Their babies are born fully developed and are able to walk and swim within hours of being born. Jacanas mating. Jacanas are a type of bird found in wetlands and swamps in tropical regions. During mating season, male jacanas perform an elaborate courtship display to attract a female. Once a male has found a mate, he builds a floating nest in the water, where the female will lay her eggs. After the eggs are laid, the male takes over most of the responsibility for incubating and caring for the young. In fact, male jacanas are known for their exceptional parenting skills, as they will aggressively defend their chicks from predators and other males. This is quite unusual in the bird world, where it is typically the female that takes on most of the parenting duties. This is unusual in the bird world as most bird species are monogamous, meaning they mate with one partner for life. The mating and parenting behaviors of jacanas are truly unique and fascinating to observe. Hyena mating. Have you ever heard of a female animal with an 8-centimeter in length penis? Well, these fascinating creatures have unique anatomy, unlike anything you've seen before. Female hyenas have large external genitalia that resembles a penis. Hyenas use their pseudopenises not just for peeing and mating, but also to show dominance over other females. It's like having a secret weapon in the animal kingdom. Female hyenas are the dominant sex. During the mating season, male hyenas will approach a female who is in heat and attempt to mount her. If the male is persistent and manages to mount the female, he will need to navigate her pseudopenis. This can be a difficult process, as the female may clamp down on the male's penis with her pseudopenis, making it difficult for him to withdraw. In some cases, the male may even be injured or killed during the mating process. Chimpanzee mating. Chimpanzees are one of the few non-human animals known to engage in face-to-face copulation, where the male and female directly face each other during mating. Female chimps have been observed to use sticks and other objects to simulate sexual acts, suggesting that they may also engage in sexual behaviors for pleasure and not just reproduction. When a female is in estrus, she becomes highly attractive to the males. Unlike many other primates, chimpanzee females are sexually receptive year-round, rather than being restricted to a specific breeding season. Chimpanzees also engage in courtship behaviors such as grooming and embracing to establish social bonds and potentially improve their chances of mating. In addition, females have been known to initiate mating by presenting themselves to males, often with vocalizations and body postures. In some cases, males will engage in behaviors such as offering food or sharing tools with females in order to court them for mating. Honeybee mating. Mating in the animal kingdom can often be a life or death affair. Honeybee males get to mate with the queen only once before they die. When the queen bee emerges from her hive in search of mating partners, drones will swarm around her hoping for a chance to mate. The fastest and bravest drones will be the ones to mount the queen mid-air and mate with her. However, the cost of this act is steep. Once a drone ejaculates, his testicles will explode and his endophallus will be left behind inside the queen. The drone then falls to the ground and dies. One would think that the other drones would learn from their brother's fate, but the competition is fierce, and the next drone will take out the endophallus left by the previous drone and attempt to mate with the queen himself. This cycle continues until the queen has mated with as many drones as possible. Peacock spider mating. The male peacock spider's courtship dance is a matter of life and death. If the female spider dislikes the male, she may quickly shake her abdomen or attack and eat him up, making courtship a dangerous affair for the suitor. However, in order to mate successfully, the male must perform an intricate dance using a brilliantly colored fan attached to his abdomen. Male jumping spiders are not very selective and will attempt to court any female they come across, even if she's a different species. The female signals her approval or disapproval by turning towards or away from the male. If the female approves of the male's dance, he may be allowed to mate, but if she isn't impressed, the male will become her next meal. This high-stakes courtship ritual is a fascinating example of the lengths that animals will go to in order to reproduce and pass on their genes. Ant mating. The queen ant produces a special scent. This scent is a powerful attractant for winged male ants from other nests, who are drawn to the queen. The male ants that are attracted to the queen are enormous, similar in size to the queen herself. However, the journey to becoming a consort of the queen is not an easy one. The male must prove his fitness to the colony. The other ants, initially viewing the male as prey, must be convinced that he is a suitable consort for the queen. If the male is accepted, he will mate with the queen in the royal chamber. However, his time as a consort is short-lived. When his job is done, he retires from the royal chamber and dies. With this sacrifice, he will father several million offspring, ensuring the continued success of the colony. Praying mantis mating. The praying mantis is known for its unique and somewhat gruesome mating behavior. While the male praying mantis may have a brief moment of pleasure, it often results in his demise at the hands, or rather mandibles, of the female. After a courtship dance and seduction by pheromones, the female praying mantis invites the male to mate. However, the act of mating often results in the male being decapitated by the female. Female praying mantises don't always kill their mates after mating. While some species do exhibit this behavior, others don't, and in some cases, the male can even continue to mate with the female for some time after his head is removed. One theory is that it's a form of sexual cannibalism that ensures the survival of the female's offspring. By consuming the male, the female gains vital nutrients that she can use to support the growth of her eggs. Peacock mating. Peacocks perform a complex dance during mating season to attract a mate. The male will approach the female with his feathers spread wide and tail feathers held high. He will then begin to strut and display his feathers, often circling around the female to show off his full plumage. If the female is impressed, she may respond by fanning her own feathers and moving closer to the male. Once the female has chosen her mate, the two will mate and the male will fertilize the eggs that the female lays. The male does not provide any parental care for the offspring. Instead, the female is solely responsible for incubating the eggs and caring for the chicks once they hatch. Peacocks are known for their longevity, with some individuals living up to 20 years in the wild. This long lifespan allows them to mate multiple times throughout their lives. Sandwich terns mating. Sandwich terns are seabirds that engage in a unique mating ritual involving a courtship dance. During this dance, the male will approach the female while holding a fish in his beak. He will then offer the fish to her as a symbol of his ability to provide for her and any potential offspring. If the female accepts the fish, it signals her interest in the male, and the two will proceed to mate. However, if she rejects the fish, the male will have to try again and look for another potential mate. The courtship dance is a crucial part of the mating process for sandwich terns, as it helps establish a strong bond between the male and female and ensures successful reproduction. In addition to the courtship dance, they engage in other mating behaviors, such as displaying their distinctive black crests and bills to attract potential mates. Prairie dog mating. During the mating season, male prairie dogs will compete for the attention of females by performing a series of elaborate displays, such as jumping and chasing. Once a female chooses a mate, they will engage in a brief courtship ritual before copulation occurs. Interestingly, female prairie dogs are known to be quite promiscuous and will often mate with multiple males during the breeding season. This behavior is thought to increase genetic diversity and improve the chances of offspring survival. Prairie dogs live in social groups called coteries or clans. These groups contain 1 or 2 dominant males, a number of yearling males, and a majority of females. All of these members are related except for the dominant male, who would have been born in another territory and dispersed. They are known for their adorable appearance and distinctive vocalizations. Sea lions mating. In this clip, a sea lion can be seen forcing itself upon a penguin, which stunned many. Now, penguins may not be the primary source of their food, but they have been known to eat penguins. This particular behavior is unexplainable. Sea lions are known for their unique and interesting mating behaviors. During mating season, males establish territories on beaches where they can attract females. Males use a variety of tactics to attract females, including barking, growling, and even fighting with other males. The actual act of mating occurs in the water, where the male will mount the female and copulate sometimes on land, too. After mating, the female will give birth to a single pup about a year later. Interestingly, male sea lions have been known to display homosexual behaviors during mating season, including mounting and attempting to mate with other males. Maybe that explains this clip. Galapagos tortoise mating. Galapagos tortoise mating is a fascinating and unique process. These giant tortoises are the largest in the world, and their mating behavior is no less impressive. During the mating season, male tortoises become highly territorial and will fight with other males for access to females. Once a male has established his dominance, he will start to search for a mate. Mating usually takes place between January and August and can last for several hours. When the male finds a receptive female, he will approach her and start to nuzzle her neck and head. The female will either accept or reject the male's advances. If she accepts him, she will stretch her head and neck out to make it easier for the male to mount her. The male will then climb onto the female's back, using his front legs to hold onto her shell. Sloth mating. Sloths, known for their slow-moving and sleepy demeanor, have unique and interesting mating behavior. They are solitary animals, and their mating habits are no exception. They only come together for a brief period during the breeding season, which occurs once a year. During the mating season, the male will emit a loud mating call to attract a female. Once the female is ready to mate, the pair will climb down from the trees and engage in a slow and gentle mating process that can last for several hours. Unlike most other animals, sloths mate while hanging upside down from a branch. The male will use his long arms to grasp onto the female while mating. After mating, the male sloth will go back to his solitary lifestyle, and the female will carry the offspring for about 6 months before giving birth to a single baby. Fossa mating. The fossa has a unique mating system that is different from many other mammals. Rather than the males competing for the attention of females, and females are the ones in charge, they will choose a mate and initiate the mating process. When a female is in heat, she will release a strong scent to attract males. Several males will come to her location and begin to compete for her attention. The female will then choose a mate based on his size, strength, and the quality of his scent. Interestingly, female fossas have a pseudopenis, like hyenas, which is used during mating to help grip onto the male. This makes the mating process more successful and ensures that the male will not escape before the copulation is complete. Fossa mating is a unique and interesting process, where the females are the ones in charge and have a special adaptation to make sure the mating is successful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content. Let us know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.